Welcome back to Masculine Scrapping. Today we're going to be working on the Boston Museum of Science. This was from May 2023. I'm going to start with this page here because I'm actually going to create a pocket in order to hold the museum map. And I think that we will try and put it right about there, which I know is pretty high, but I need to see how many inches to cut off the bottom, and it looks like 1.5. So we'll quickly move this to the side and cut that off. I am going to sew this pattern, or excuse me, this pocket to the door. Well, I'm going to keep that because that might come in handy later. And I'll do that off camera at the end, and then I'll show you the finalized product. And I'll only use one of those, but I always like to get a little more just in case. So we're going to work with just this. So this piece here is actually the logo to the museum, which you can see, you know, on the map right there. Was able to download a graphic and put that together, and I'm embellishing it on a little bit. I decided to stick a moon in the middle. So we will just start working on this. This was a great museum, by the way. They had a really cool, whoops, there we go. All right, I'm gonna pause to fix my tape dispenser. All right, we're back. I was able to just fix that quickly. And but the museum is really cool. Really could have spent many hours there. We did go and see the planetarium, which was really good. It was interesting. It was a great show, but in the dark, and it was cool. And I was tired, so I might have fallen asleep, but that's okay. That's still good. I'm having the same trouble here with the tape dispenser. Okay, in that case, we'll try it on here. Sometimes it doesn't like some of the papers, and that's okay. This is exactly the same size, and so just basically there to give it a little of dimension. And I'm going to use the glue pen on this other part of the moon shape, and we'll get that in place, and then stick it there. There we go. So I'm going to try here. Yeah, some of the surfaces the tape dispenser does not like, and right there. Okay, and then I need to center that onto there, although I am going to do a little higher because I need to stitch. I'm going to need to stitch along the bottom, so I'm going to put it a little closer to the top. I think what I'm finding is when I'm trying to do a little bit longer pieces is when it's struggling. So we're gonna, let's see, I need to make sure it goes the right way, get a little closer to the top, and there we go. So at the end here, I will sew that together, and I will then show you what it's gonna look like. Let's work on this piece. So this was interesting. I was, one of the features there is this robotic dog, and they actually have him moving. I have some cool video of that. But I was able to download this graphic and then create this out of it using Cricut Design Space. So actually pretty cool. It's Spot, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. Now I did create that ahead of time, because it did take quite a while to put those together, as do lots of the things involving the design studio. You'll notice a little bit of this got cut out. I was cutting it out of another piece of paper that already had a cut, but since this is going to be under the photo, I decided it really wouldn't matter. I like to use scrap paper. Certainly it saves paper and money to do that. So, all right. You'll also notice that these two photos here are going to overlap, and I'm gonna cut them down, but I want to get this one on here first, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do to cut them down. And you'll remember I always use a piece of photo to do that. Part of what I like about this design is you can see this moon here is kind of looking a little bit like the moon shape that's there, so they kind of tie together. So I've got to decide, what do I want to cut down? And I think I'm going to cut off the black. From here. Okay. Which then means I need to cut off just a tad of the blue here. I'll do this a little bit at a time. Well, actually, I got it right first time, so that's awesome. Yeah, this was my highlight of the museum, was seeing this robot dog. I watched him actually for quite a bit of time. They have a little obstacle course that he works his way through, and so it's really cool. I am going to try and put tape on here, but I'm going to be very careful. Oh, there we go. That worked pretty nicely. It is storming outside, so if you're hearing sounds while I'm doing this, that's what that is. I'm going to use glue on some of the extremities here. And then I'm going to put this upside down, on top of the photo. So I got one shot because, especially with glue, there's not a lot of wiggle room. Okay, so I'm going to set that right on there. There we go. Using my palm instead of this is where you're a little sweatier, this is drier, and you don't want to get water on it. And I think I'm also going to do a row of stitching here that matches on the other side. So let me put, actually, I think I'm going to do the stitching before I put that on. And I'm going to take these out so I can get this down. And I like to get some tape on this, because that helps to hold it in place for when I'm doing the sewing. If you don't do this, it can move and then you've got a mess. So I'll put that down again just on the edges, except the top edge, because that's the edge I'm going to need to get through. You can see right here. All right, I'm going to do the sewing and I'll be back in a little bit. Take care. All right, we are back. It actually took a little longer than I expected. I ran out of the back thread, and so I had to reset that. The other thing I was thinking about, I put this red part on before the sewing, which meant this made a little bit more unwieldy to sew. I should have probably stitched this before putting this on, but that's just a little bit in hindsight. I'm just going to show you what I do with the extra threads. Fold them over. If you cut them too tight, sometimes it can come undone in the stitching. You can see there what the back of the paper looks like when you're done with the stitching. You always need to check that, because sometimes it makes the paper a little weak because it's put too many holes in it, but in this case it's still pretty solid. So we'll put that there for now, and let's work on taping these. Now these, I'm just going to take, well, I think I might try this technique. I'm just going to tuck that underneath and see what happens. Nope, that's not going to work. I'm going to take it to the side. So if you're in Boston, another thing to do, Science Museum. It's not, you know, in a historical city, it doesn't feel like a very historical thing, but I think especially for kids, it creates a nice break in things to do. All right, let's pick the nicest of these, which I think is that one. And I do want people to see both sides, but you see how it goes in there perfectly? It now says the name of the place and spring 2023. So I love the way that has turned out. So we'll just throw that up there for now. And then our last piece really is to just get this on here. And you're going to notice on this particular project that I'm going to use stars quite often. Yeah, you can see the problem I'm having with the tape runner. There we go. I think just little bits is what I'm going to have to do. There we go. Because they feel patriotic, but in this case it's also science-y because of the planetarium. So there we go. This project took quite a bit of time, especially because of this piece, but I'm very happy with the way that it's turned out. So it's the Boston Museum of Science, and May of 23 on a trip to Boston and New York with Upward Bound. Thanks for watching. Hope you've had a great time. Would love to see your projects. Take care.